October 20th. Could be 2 weeks from tomorrow night. PlayHouseSquare.org has got all the details for you. This pair for you if you're caller 10, 2 for Chelsea Handler. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
The words radio and Ohio both end in I-O. And I-O is one of the moons of Jupiter. Have fun trying to figure out whatever the that means. I-O, I-O. It's the Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.
Another $1,000 for you. Listen for that next keyword in about 7 minutes. 5:30 is the next chance for you to grab a grand, courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie. If you listen to us on iHeartRadio, you can leave messages for us anytime you like.
Hey, Alan, hate the show. I am so excited. After hearing all about it on your show, I just, on a whim, booked a plane ticket, got the hotel stay. Me and the wife are going to see Mary for the first time this Friday. Just so excited. Thanks so much for the heads up. Can't wait to see you, Mary.
Oh, no.
That show is canceled.
Of all the times to go. And
I know. Really splurge.
oh, my goodness.
For everyone who has asked, that show in Chardon at the Geauga Theater has been canceled. But if you're out that way, I will be at Twinsburg at Sassy's next Saturday. So if that's still pretty east side, not as, not exactly Chardon, but there's tickets available right now. You can check it out on Mary Santora Comedy.
I did Sassy's like April. It was a lot of fun.
Well, and that's, it's still, I'm on the east side, and so people can come out, and the ticket link is up for that. It is working. They do have phones. So you guys can definitely
get your ticket.
come to that one.
Speaking of Twinsville, a Twinsville guy died
Twinsburg.
Sorry, Twinsburg.
You've lived here like 48 years, man. What are you doing?
And we just said Twinsburg.
Yeah.
I know you said Twinsburg. That's what I mean, Twinsburg.
He doesn't listen to the show.
No, I was reading this story of this guy from Twinsburg who died in Illinois. He's one of 5 people who died when this tanker truck crashed. Did you read about that at all?
No.
So there's a tanker truck that died.
Start over.
Thanks.
Twinsville tanker truck dies.
I know. A tanker truck crashed into another car. And it was carrying anhydrous ammonia, which is a liquid until it hits the air. And that's a mist, and it's completely toxic. So these people that just happened to be around this truck when it crashed and got out or were too close, there was a guy and his 2 kids died. There was a 67-year-old dude and a 31-year-old guy from Twinsburg, Ohio. Twinsburg? Twinsville?
Twinsburg.
Twinsburg, Ohio. It's wild.
That's crazy.
You're just there.
You're just hoping they're okay.
Yeah, this is 100 miles northeast of St. Louis. So it's southern Illinois, over the border there. And then word gets around. The cops are like telling the people in the town, they're like, get the hell out of town for a minute if you can, because not even prolonged exposure. It's really, really toxic. And this truck, like another car tried to pass it, and they were trying to avoid hitting, and it jackknifed. And when the truck fell, it punctured the tank. And, oof. Hey, Gaylord.
Well, hello, Mr. Cox.
How are you, Gaylord?
Hello to Mr. Squire.
Hello.
And hello, Miss Santora.
Oh.
And how are all my friends?
Good.
You all, my wife just came home and said hi to you all.
Oh, hi, Gaylord's wife.
She
Mrs.
works
Gaylord.
out there at Metro. She's a nurse practitioner out there. But anyway, you were talking about dive bars. And oh my goodness, back in the day when I used to play in the band, we played in a lot of dive bars in Elyria, Lorraine, and the surrounding areas. But one of the best little bars that we played in was in Wellington. It was called the White Front back then.
The White Front?
And
Of course, it was the White Front out there in Wellington.
Uh-huh.
And it was just barely big enough for our equipment, and a lot of the farmer boys and that still their duds of working out there in the fields would come and see us. And we would pack that little bar, but it was like a sardine can. We had fun. And, yeah, there were a lot of other bars that were, like Miss Santora said, sticky floors and the old men that didn't really want to hear the music. But we had a ball.
What was the name of your band, Gaylord?
Well, we had one that was called Cascade, and that was the longest time I was ever in the band.
Like the dish detergent?
And like the park in Elyria.
Oh.
And
Where Mom saw the pterodactyl.
It's a beautiful park. Back then, they even had bears in that park, and I'm rambling on, taking your time, but I just want to thank you all for being a major part. But my wife said hello to you all. She is a major fan. She listens to you guys on the way home from work and every chance she gets. So she's fascinated that you listen to me. But I love you all, and I love MMS, and of course I love iHeart. You guys are all fascinating.
No, that went too far.
Well, now you're just talking crazy. All right, thank you, Gaylord. I appreciate it. Yeah, his wife is like, wow, they talk. She's got to listen to him.
Mm-hmm. Well, she chose it.
I opt to. Right. Well, there was a lot of bears in that park. Did you hear that, Poundcake? Did your ears perk up?
Bears and pterodactyls, apparently.
And farm boys.
Farm boys and bears and pterodactyls. Oh, my.
What else could you want?
There's a lot
A
of
bears cruising that Walmart parking lot out on Mayfield Road, too.
My family has a lot of history in that park. My mom saved a guy's life in that
What?
park.
From a pterodactyl attack?
No.
Oh.
I think she performed CPR or something on him back in the day.
All right.
And she was like in the paper.
Saved
pretty
his
crazy.
life.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah.
Is it true?
What?
You little liar.
Why am I a liar?
Little liar. Wow, she took the wind out of your sails, homie.
Just asking.
Yeah.
You know Cody. Always
Wow.
telling tales.
Listen to him. Embellishing.
Like I'm Trump.
But his mom's a nurse. That's a believable thing. I mean, I did the Heimlich maneuver on a guy at Lowry's Prime Rib in 1993.
Like the people who have the seasoning?
The restaurant.
Lowry.
Yeah.
They have a seasoning.
Yeah, Lowry's Prime Rib, the restaurant, a real fancy steak joint. And there was a guy a table over from me who was choking on a piece of prime rib. I did the Heimlich maneuver on him.
You know what, though? That's what made Mrs. Doubtfire's mask fall off. So maybe don't help people.
Be careful.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
That was also one of the weirder parts of the book, Choke, was that he would go, it's part of the reason why the book was called Choke, I believe, is he would go to a fancy restaurant, choke on meat, then somebody would save him, and then that person would keep giving him money.
Right.
And I was like, I don't get
How
that.
does this work?
Yeah.
What is this? I've never heard of
Choke
this.
by Chuck Palahniuk, the guy who did Fight Club. He did a book about 20 years ago called Choke.
What's the goal here? To get a free meal?
Well, then, like...
He's just a con man.
He's a con man that would do this, and then these people would feel like a hero, and then he'd hit him up from time to time, be like, hey, I've fallen on hard times. Can you send me... And they'd be like, yeah, we'll help you out, because they have a hero complex with him, is the way it was described in the book. I just don't think it would work that way.
They made a movie of Choke. I never saw it.
I saw it. It was Sam Rockwell,
Yep.
who was great, and it was directed by the guy that played Agent... What's his face from the Marvel movies?
Oh, Clark Gregg.
Clark Gregg.
Yeah.
It was all right. It It was okay. It just didn't translate the way. I love the book. The movie was okay.
That's how I know I'm not a hero, because I once saw someone choking and I thought they were joking.
Are you joking or choking?
We were in the.
Are you joking? I don't hear any laughing going on. Sir, are you joking? Can you answer me? Are you making a joke? Are you joking?
Sneeze makes me want to throw up.
I'm going to change the subject now.
Oh, I got a lot of mucus in my throat.
Sicko, what's wrong with you?
Oh, that throat was the right amount of wet right there.
I'm going to change the subject now.
Oh,
do.
boy. I got to give you some money. It's $1,000, courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie. Good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Grand. That's grand. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
By the way, I gave away those Chelsea Handler tickets, and just very briefly, I neglected to mention, she has made it very clear that she wants the hosting job over at The Daily Show. And our friend Roy Wood Jr. has left that show because he is not going to be named the new host of that show. And he said, it's time to go. So he's put in his 8 years over there, and he's arguably one of the better parts of that show for people who still watch it. But Comedy Central has said that they're just going to keep rotating guests.
He's so
through the end of the
funny.
year. And I feel like he's kind of...
I think he was a long shot because they want somebody... Like, I think they're going to go for a name like Chelsea Handler.
I guess. I mean, nobody knew who Trevor Noah was. Nobody had ever heard of Trevor Noah. And Jon Stewart was a really well-known guy. Nobody knew who Trevor Noah was. But Roy Wood Jr. leaving The Daily Show. But Chelsea Handler has been very open about the fact that she would very much like to do that show. So, Poundcake, we did kind of bust your balls there, but you said you knew you weren't a hero because a guy was choking and you did nothing to help.
Yeah, we were at this was in college. We were at our cafe. I think it's still called Rob's, but it was our mess hall or whatever they would call it, our dining hall. And I was up at the front talking to one of the girl at the register who was a DJ on WCIP at the time. And we were talking, and I said, and it was, here's the context. I was joking about, I was like, I don't have any more swipes left this week. I'm going to act like I'm choking, see if I can get a free meal. And I was joking. And then there was another guy who worked there next to us and was like kind of listening to the conversation. And he started choking. Like he was like doing this, like grabbing his throat, and I was laughing. I was like, yeah, like that. I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty convincing. And she was like, I think he's really choking. I said, no, he's not. I was like, he's faking it. And she was like, oh no, he is really choking. And he was like doing this, like, which is, I guess, I didn't know it at the time, but that's the international sign for choking.
What did you think that was?
I didn't know that hands on the throat was the international sign for choking.
Because I was like, I should pretend to choke and get a free meal. And then she was like, oh my God, does anyone know the Heimlich? She screamed, and the entire hall was like, does someone know the Heimlich? And someone ran up, one of the students ran up and gave him the Heimlich. He was choking, and then he just gonna look at me. He was like, you was gonna let me die. I was like, I didn't mean to. I thought you was joking.
I thought hands on the throat was the international sign for joking.
It was weird timing because I literally had just said, oh, I should probably pretend to choke. And he started choking like right after I said that. So
and you didn't go, are you okay? And he would have shook his head side to side.
I looked at him and I was like, you're faking it. And I kind of like chuckled. And he like looked at me like dead in the eyes. And I'm like, wow, he's really convincing. He's really going with the bit. and then my friend was like, nah, he ain't playing. Hello, does anyone know the Heimlich? She's screaming in front of everybody. And then someone came up and did it.
I thought everybody was taught the Heimlich in high school. That's
a lot of people
relearn.
don't pay attention.
I mean, that seems like something you might want to pay attention.
I don't know. I could do it
things
under
you might
stress.
want to pay attention
But that
to,
seems
or like
to be
retain.
that seems to be the easiest way to be a hero. Learning CPR, learning the Heimlich maneuver. You know, you never know when somebody's going to be joking.
Poundcake didn't even
at the
learn
table right next to you.
the international symbol for I'm choking.
Like that's a
He took sign language.
That's a drawing that's in every restaurant, by the way, or at least used to be. The international sign for choking. It's not some weird thing that you could never put together. Like the international sign for help is to put your thumbs in your nose. It's literally hands on throat.
It's the most sensible.
It's the most choking,
It's the most literal translation.
I didn't mean to almost kill a guy.
Well, you wouldn't have killed him. I mean, whatever he was choking on would have killed him. But
His inaction.
Your inaction would have contributed, potentially. Imagine if Poundcake went over and tried to save him, and it just, knowing Poundcake, he would have lodged it further in the guy's throat.
He tries to
just
shove his
massaged it down
fingers
like a
in there.
dog.
Yeah.
Well,
But your friend saved him, or somebody else saved the guy?
so a student ran up and did it. I don't remember who it was. I didn't know the person, but she just yelled, and someone ran up and gave him the Heimlich, and it worked. I don't know what he was choking on either. I don't know. Because if it was like something like a sucker or something, that would have melted. I don't remember what he was eating.
Sucker
It would, yeah.
You know how a sucker melts right away?
Like right away. As soon as it hits throat, basically
Are
gone.
you thinking of chocolate?
Got a hot throat.
No, like if it was like some small sucker, like you can suck on those and then they will shrink. And
Not fast enough to stop choking.
well, again, I don't think it was any
Cody,
of that.
you don't even know where you're at right now.
No, I don't.
I have a real thing with choking from childhood. And with each of my kids, my wives have said, let them eat. It's okay. I'm somebody who cuts the food into small, small pieces for my kids when they're like little and don't really know what they're doing yet. And I probably do that for too long. Like Nora's 7 now. She doesn't need her food cut up. She can do whatever she needs to do. But I mean, up until she was like 5, because when I was little, my youngest brother choked. He was choking on food. He's 5 years younger than me. So he was like 2, and I didn't know what the hell was going on, and my mom was freaking out because in retrospect, I kind of am surprised my mom freaked out the way she did because my mom's she's on the job, she knows what's up. But that has been burned into my brain when my 2-year-old brother was choking on something he was eating. And ever since that day, I've been like, I guess in everyone else's estimation, overly vigilant about choking. Because it just terrifies me that one of my kids, when they were little, were going to choke on something, and I wouldn't be able to get it out.
Brian's daughter, Blake, is also 7. And a couple years ago, I had just met them. So she was probably 4 or 5. Her thing is this child never stops talking. And I mean, like, there is not a 15-second pause in the day where this child is not talking.
That's how you choke.
Well, that includes with food in her mouth. And we've had to tell her 100 times, like, dude, you can't talk with food in your mouth. And the one time, I think she had like a hard candy or something, and she's blabbing away, and it went right back down her throat. And her mom called Brian freaking out. She's like, yeah, Blake choked on candy today because she can't stop talking. And was like, yeah, he was like really, really worried about it.
Oof.
She didn't get hard candy for months. Well, she didn't really want it, but they were both really freaked out after that, where it was like soft foods only for a while.
Yeah.
When my niece was young, she choked on a penny. We were just hanging out at the house, and she was still in diapers, so she's less than 2. Found a penny on the ground, threw it right in her mouth, and then... And my sister freaked out because my sister was only 18. I'm 22. We live alone with a toddler. And my sister started like panicking and pacing around. She's like, I don't know what to do. Should I call 911? And I like went into survival mode and like flipped her over on my knee and was like patting her back until she coughed it out. Yeah. It was scary.
Yeah,
it was
that's
really
a very scary thing. We have a family of strong throats, so
no choking there.
No choking. My cousin swallowed a penny, but then used her throat strength to fold it in half, and then was able to swallow it.
Wow,
She's a
that
magician.
is incredible.
Strong man of the throat.
That is literally incredible.
When I was a kid, I was a big fan of shooting stuff up my nose for whatever reason, and therefore
cocaine.
No,
he still hasn't done it.
No, I've never done coke.
Well, bring back that childlike wonder.
Relive your childhood.
Could you imagine me on coke?
No.
No, you'd be vibrating across the street.
Hey, there's a time and place.
Uh-huh.
What if coke chilled him out?
It might. Be like Adderall for
the
him.
opposite
He's
effect.
like, actually, I got really concise thoughts now.
I got a lot done today on coke.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's try it. Let's do a little experiment with him.
Coke day. Everybody pick a drug.
Hey.
We'll all do a drug one day.
I'm out of drugs.
That's so funny.
Do a little H.
I could try.
I've
You're not gonna get addicted to heroin.
Yeah, of all the things. I can't regulate my own bank cards, but yeah, let's try heroin.